Okay, this is the Abene horizontal vertical mill, basically a universal mill. A little history on this machine. I had owned this machine probably about 12 years ago. I sold it to a plastics company. They set this machine up to do one operation and one operation only. It was basically like 3 slots through a piece of plastic. So they had it fixtured for that. In doing so, they did remove a handle here, which this one will screw out and come in there. So basically got to make a carbon copy of that to go in there. And then there is a power down feed right there, which essentially is this exact same thing that goes right on there. Other than that, the machine, the only other thing I would probably do to the machine is you put your oil in here to fill the, for the bronze bushing here. I would probably put a flip cup in here. That's the only thing I would do. So the way the vertical works is the machine sits on a set of slides or ways. So you loosen these 4 bolts here and you crank this up. So this whole thing will come vertically up. Then you loosen these bolts here and then you have a vertical operation. This is a nice 40 taper, NMTB 40. To go back down into the horizontal position, you can see that you have a saddle, like a lock there, and then you can put a locating pin in here so that you're always back to 0. And obviously you just crank it back down and you would tighten everything down. So I'm going to come over here. We're going to turn the spindle on. Well, first we'll look at the speeds. This is a gear head on this unit. So right now it says 212. I don't know if you can see that. It's there you go, 212. So if we look here, 212 is 500 RPM. So if we come over here, I am going to turn the spindle on. So there's your spindle. Now I am going to turn the power feed on. I turned on the power feed button. So as you can see, the power feed there is working. So now, right now I have my locks are loose here. Here for the knee, the lock is loose. And over here is the other table lock for the saddle. So I am going to just turn that on. And if you look over here, you can see the power feed is moving. If we go back in the other direction, and this does also have the knockouts on this, so when you set your stops here, so when you get over travel, it'll kick out your power feed. Now if I take this little knob off here, and I put it in this other one over here. And let's say I want power feed in and out. Well, there you go. Now my power feed is moving in. And the power feed is moving out. Okay. So as far as your speed for your table, this is really kind of neat. This has got a huge planetary gear system inside here, which is behind these bolts. You essentially move this around, but it has to go up. When you land it, it has to stay at the top. Otherwise, if you stay at the bottom, it will eventually disengage. So now, as you can see now, we're at 6, 8, 12. You can see that it's running much faster. So if I was to come over here and engage that, and see, I did exactly what I said I should have done. I had to take it all the way to the top. So now it's all the way to the top. It engaged it. And there you go. You can see everything moving along there. And then I can put this back in here. table, and that's running obviously a higher RPM for the table drive. Machine's really nice. It's just dirty. It needs to finish being cleaned up. Could use a good maintenance, but it's a good, solid, heavy piece of iron. It doesn't take up a big footprint. I'm guessing the weight is right around 4,000, probably right around 4,000 pounds. All right, if you have any questions, please let me know. Oh, one last thing is it does have this guy here, which is a little chip guard that they made for it. It's kind of a neat little deal. So it kind of helps keep chips down. Guess it just depends on what you're doing. All right, if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you. Goodbye.